Well, at times like this, when you are about to speak to large numbers of people, and I feel that I need some energy to come on and speak, so I listen to loud music, and this gives me the courage to come onto this stage and face these insects. The insects are real insects. I'm not referring to the crowd. My talent seems to be to write prose. I wish that it wasn't this. I have written one song. I wrote the lyrics for one song. The American musician Ben Folds, he's a very good songwriter and pianist, and he phoned me up and said, I would like you to write a song for an album that I am making. And I said, oh, fantastic. And he said, good, I'm glad you agree. And the artist that I am making this record with is William Shatner of Star Trek. You know this man? So this is my one song I wrote, and Captain Kirk sang the song, but he can't really sing, so
in realtà non sa cantare.
He spoke it.
E poi l'ha semplicemente recitata.
And this was such a terrible experience for me that I haven't written another one. Well, I think that there are two things that happened. First of all, when I began my writing career with an autobiography, I did not really think that I was writing only about me. I thought that I was writing about us. And by us, I mean a generation of men that had grown up being obsessed with this sport. So my own feelings, I felt that I could write about these because they represented a collective. And then with my second book, with High Fidelity, again, I felt, first of all, that I was writing about a generation of people that had grown up with rock music. But also maybe grown up in a different way from our parents, in that our history of relationships was much more complicated and messier, and the decisions were put off and put off and put off until in the end you have this mess really that I wrote about in High Fidelity. This too seemed something particular to a post-60s generation, I think. But then I think you're right that eventually you come to a point in a career where you think you cannot keep doing this, and there are many kinds of people in the world that one wants to write about, and this is where I ended up, I think. When I began writing, I thought really that I was writing for people who were more or less born on the same day as me. And then, I can see tonight that there are lots of people here who are younger than me and the same age as me and older than me, but I think that there is, I still feel a connection with people who are younger and older, because I think it's about a mindset and not an age. For me, that doesn't feel like a part of growing up, moderating one's obsessions. I think that one finds it harder to find the time and the space for them in the same way. Well, I think that, in Fever Pitch I wrote that football fills up a lot of gaps in one's life, and I think I don't have the same gaps that I have, that I used to have. I have 3 sons, and I have a marriage, and I have a job. I didn't used to really have any of these things at all. No job, no nothing. But also I think that football has changed a lot since the book was published. It has become more commercial, and I think it's harder to make a connection with the players in the way that it used to be. I don't know if other people are finding this. I think certainly it's true in England that it feels much more like another branch of the entertainment industry rather than something unique. I think that really the people who are cured of their passions are also in some way dead. And I think that one can only hope that these passions are incurable, because they provide a spark for all of us, whatever age we are. And I think to feel that you are completely balanced in every area of your life is actually not a good thing, and it's not a creative thing. For me, the most interesting people are the people who love something beyond reason. Well, I think that in one way, all the books are about some kind of unorthodox family. And, you know, there is a family in fever pitch. Well, as people know, there is a family within a football stadium. It is some kind of replacement family that may or may not involve members of your own family, but it is part of a wider community. And as Marina said, there is the community inside the record shop, and in a long way down, it's a family that is created from despair, I suppose, that their only relationship is through wanting to kill themselves, and by not killing themselves, then they create a family that lasts a little longer than they thought it was going to do. And I think these people have, their tragedy is that they actually do have a passion for life, but they haven't actually found a good way to live that life. I think that we all look for community all the time, and as the family is becoming more and more of a complicated idea, then we are all desperate for a replacement for this nuclear family, because we don't have the same access to it that we used to have. Yeah, it's become really important to me. The older I get, the more important reading has become, I think. And I didn't value it so much when I was younger, because books were imposed from above. And I think it takes you a long time to recover from your education. I have become much better. I've become much better at choosing books that I want to read, as opposed to choosing books that I think I should read. Well, this is something that I am now on a mission about, because I feel that it has come as a revelation to me that if we are bored by books, then we should stop reading them immediately and not persist with them. Because I think every time we read a book that we are not enjoying very much, then it reinforces the notion that reading is a duty. And as long as we have this notion that reading is a duty, then we would rather go to the cinema or watch television. And I think that reading is a fantastic thing to do, and a fantastic activity. And we must break this connection between duty and reading. I feel that my job, it's not about the books themselves, but about an attitude to reading. I mean, what I would most like to do is to get people to read more, enjoy it more, feel less guilty about not reading, reading for enjoyment only, not for some kind of strange mission to read a certain kind of book before they die. Because if you don't read these books, nothing happens to you. Nothing bad will happen to you. If you don't read Don Quixote before you die, it doesn't matter. You are still a good person in my eyes. It really, forget about it. Don Quixote.